that's why I decided to do your podcast, because I was like, I need to be more brave with Portuguese interviews.
So let's speak Portuguese, and you.
I just say sim or no.
Okay.
Because I sometimes I understand certain words because I really love speaking Spanish or trying to speak Spanish and French, but there's an accent that is so difficult because of the eu, that sound.
Eu.
I'm not used to that sound.
Eu.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't get
It's hard.
Yeah.
But you speak Portuguese very well in the concert.
I mean, that's not true, but thank you.
Is there a paper?
Yes.
Oh.
I have a really beautiful teacher called Juliana. She's a school teacher here. And she came to help me. I mean, I always practiced, like when we were in Rock in Rio, had a really great teacher there. But there's certain different things in Rio, I guess. So I met this teacher here, Juliana, and I say, I'd like to say this, I'd like to say this. And then she says it and I write it how I hear it. So I have it written down on the floor, but no one else can understand because it's not correct. It's just how I hear it. So it's like, a gente muito feliz de estar aqui com vocês.
Oh, like, that's really great.
No. But it doesn't look like Portuguese. It looks like a weird alien language.
I've seen it when we were on stage tour. I've seen it.
Yes, when I took a bunch of people on the stage tour.
That was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that the stage is so giant compared to another shows. Why is that?
Well, I was saying to us, because we went up as a big group with lots of singers and painters and podcasters. And some of them were young musicians asking about what is it like to play a stadium. And to me, it's very normal. But I realized that's just because we've grown so slowly up the mountain, you know. So I don't think of it as big. I think of it as regular.
It's regular.
Yeah. So I'm not the right person to ask.
Oh.
Because to me, that feels like exactly the right size. It doesn't feel big.
But have this kind of production, like nowadays, is like, como fala conquista? A conquer. Conquista. A conquer, right?
The reason maybe why it's so big is because we're trying to get close to people. In fact, I was looking at a photograph yesterday taken from the back of the room, from the back of the stadium. And I was frustrated. I was like, I wish we could get closer to the back.
You have to fly.
Well, that's what we're thinking about, but it's very difficult. So I was thinking about climbing or doing, but it's, so yeah, it seems small to me because I still don't get to meet everybody. Yeah. Thank you for my gift, Chris.
That's amazing.
A gente fica muito curiosa a respeito dessas viagens, né? Assim, eu imagino que tem a parte muito legal de fazer os shows e a parte complicada de estar longe de casa. Eu queria saber o que para você é mais legal disso e o que não é tão legal.
There are no bad parts because we love what we do so much. And even beyond the music and the band, we are so privileged and fortunate because everywhere we go, all we see is the great parts of humans. We see people singing and dancing and being kind to each other. So even without the concert, it's a very uplifting feeling. And I know that a lot of the world is not like that a lot of the time. So that is like a drug, seeing good things everywhere. The routine is very disciplined, but it's not bad or difficult. It's especially as you get older and as the shows get bigger and as you realize that the show is not really about you, it's about everybody, then the routine becomes very easy. So it's very disciplined. It's like diet and it's like being an athlete, really, like playing soccer or being in the Olympics or something. It's all the same things: diet and fitness and rest and all of that stuff. But there's no bad sides. When you're sick, it's difficult. Like last year, I got very sick from some toxic stuff, but that was okay. It was okay.
E com as pulseiras, você conseguiu criar um show para você, né? Na direção dos seus olhos.
Those wristbands really changed our lives because they really allowed us to make a bigger connection between people and to make everybody part of the
How does it work,
show.
the technical part of the bracelets?
I don't know.
Great.
They were
Next question.
they were designed, or the original ones were designed 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And the man that designed them is a very sweet guy called Jason, who used to make batteries for sex toys. So he was very good with small batteries.
Vibration and colors.
With vibration and color. And he made these things, and he somehow through our fifth member, our creative director, Phil, my best friend, this guy, Jason, approached Phil and said, I've invented these wristbands, but they're very expensive. And Phil told me, and we said, we'll take them. And they are very expensive. That's where we spend most of our money, but they're worth the money because
it is amazing.
They just make it a different thing. You're not watching the band, you're watching the crowd.
Mm-hmm. And remember, you have to return it.
Yeah, you do have to return it because they're so expensive.
Yeah. Talking about the show, I've been to 3 Coldplay shows.
Yes.
That's a small number, but 2 only this week. And even if it's the same show, for me, it's not the same. It's another experience. I thought it was like, it is like chocolate. I know how it tastes, but when I take a bite, it's always another experience, and it's beautiful. How is that for you?
I mean, I really miss chocolate. I love chocolate so much, but I don't.
Oh.
I don't eat it anymore because of being old. And
you can't eat it anymore?
For a few reasons, but
okay.
I used to eat so much chocolate, so I know what you mean.
Okay.
I think that concerts are always different. If you look at the audience, it's always different audience. There's always a different old person or different kids or different group of young women. There's so many people there that it's never boring.
It's never.
My father, for example, has probably seen 200 shows maybe. I don't know if he really watches the show. He's watching people and meeting people. He's around, yeah. I mean, he's part of the show, really. But I think it's always different because of where you are and who is there. And
he's part of the business, or just like being around family?
My dad is like our ambassador, you know. He's very old-fashioned English gentleman. Mm-hmm. He spent a lot of years working in a job that he didn't really like, so that he could pay for his kids, me and my family, my siblings. And so when we started to be able to travel, and I said, come as much as you can, because I like to give him back something that he enjoys, because he worked so hard for so long. Mm. Yeah.
And your mom too, right?
Yes, she doesn't like to travel so much. In that, she doesn't like to be on tour so much. She also works as a music teacher and a therapist.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Was that the main reason that you became an artist?
One of the reasons, I think. Yeah.
If you had something to say to people watching this that can't live their dreams right now, what would you say?
Well, that is a lot of people. And I think there's that level of people who are not able to. And then there's another level of people who don't receive education, or they don't have freedom. And that is millions and millions and millions of people. Yeah. So to the people who can see their dream, but they're not sure, shall I do it? Shall I not? I'd be like, if you're free, you definitely should try. I think that's our obligation. Even now, you know, we've been around a long time. We still have dreams, and sometimes they fail, and sometimes we try something and it doesn't work. But I feel like, as a human, if you're lucky enough that you have an opportunity to try, you should try, because a lot of people don't have that opportunity. And I think that one day in the future, hopefully everyone will be free to at least try their dream. but right now
Hopefully.
we're not there. Yeah, hopefully, you know. Like, when did you guys dream up this podcast?
Well, it's a dream that we never dreamed of.
Right.
Yeah, we never dreamed of, but then became a huge dream to us. Quer falar mais para ele sobre? Ele perguntou assim, se a gente fazer o podcast foi um sonho. Falei que foi um sonho que a gente nunca sonhou.
Nunca sonhou. Foi muito além do que a gente poderia imaginar. E o alcance que a gente tem e conhecer pessoas que a gente admira tanto, né? Eu não sei se em outra oportunidade a gente teria. Você já teve a oportunidade do seu trabalho te levar a conhecer alguém que você admirava muito?
Yeah. Yes, I have. Yes. Would you like me to tell you?
Yeah.
Please.
Well, you're very clever because you've made it turn back to me. But I do say this, like you went for it. You're going for your dream, right? It's brave to start a podcast.
Yeah.
So good for you. And yes, I've met a lot of people I've admired, and I'm so grateful. Some of them have become my friends or teachers, or both. And what's interesting now is that I meet people who are younger than me who I admire, and that's a different feeling. So I'm trying to think, like the first time I met U2 or REM, that was amazing, and they were very sweet to us when we were young men. But then the other day I met Sejam, and he's my new hero. Right?
Tell us about it. How was it like to meet Seu Jorge and Sandy also?
Yeah, well, both of them are very... I find that the people who are really, really, really talented and really successful, most of them are super cool, and they don't have to pretend anything. Mm-hmm. And both of those people are like that, and very, very humble in a way. I think there's a whole group of songwriters and artists who feel the same way that I do, which is music is a gift. You know, you were just chosen for that gift. Like you were chosen for a different gift. You were chosen for language gift. You were chosen for camera gift. So with Seo, or with, you say Sanji, right? Sanji,
yeah.
She's chosen like a flute is played.
She is.
You know?
She is.
And the same with him.
So George is huge. I told you.
Yeah, and he's got a big heart, you know.
Mm-hmm. So talented. He's not just a singer. He's an actor.
Yeah,
also.
I know.
Yeah.
I tried to watch one of his movies, but I couldn't find it on Amazon, which is it's like the only thing that you can't find on Amazon. Carangiru, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I texted him, I said, how do I watch this movie? And he said, don't watch that movie, watch this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he sent you another movie.
Yeah. But, you know, when someone is that talented, or someone like Jay-Z, you feel two feelings. One is you feel like, oh, this person is my friend. I feel like I'm going to be friends with this person. I definitely feel that about Seo. I'm like, oh, this is my brother. But also, like, you're also a fan at the same time. So you have to balance the two things.
Mm-hmm.